Today we are cooking Devonshire tea, scones, and a bit of research was the name Devonshire tea originated in the country of Devon in England and consists of Devonshire tea, which is with cream or milk, cup of tea, scones, jam and cream. So a Devonshire tea must have jam and cream. Any jam, I think, it doesn't really matter what jam you use. Let's make some Devonshire tea scones. Very, very easy, minimal ingredients. Let's get started. So the main ingredient is self-raising flour. Obviously you need that. So I'll put up on the site, I'll put on there the recipe, of course, and I'll have a conversion for one person and for, like, say, a family of 4. So to start off with, I'm going to use 3 cups of self-raising flour. Now, you can sift it. The reason you sift it is obviously to get any foreign objects inside your flour, but in this case, it's all fresh flour, so we're just going to use the fresh flour. So that's 1. 2. Tiny bit extra. That's okay. I'll leave that out just in the measuring cup, because we will need that to put on the bench when we actually do form them. So in the flour, which is very light and airy, we need to put in 1/3 of a cup or 3 tablespoons of butter. It's about 45 grams-ish, roughly. If you want to work out the conversions or look it up online. But yeah, it's about 45 grams of butter, which we're going to rub in with our fingertips. So I've just measured it out on the scales using the bowl. Obviously clean hands as usual. And now it is just rubbing it in with your fingertips until the butter is all gone. And there's a couple of techniques you can use when you're using your fingertips to rub it in. You can rub your hands together once the butter has been combined a little bit, so you can actually get any more lumps, if there is any more lumps in there, just by going like this. Now with the Devonshire teas today, I will say I am going to make half normal Devonshire teas, like just a standard scone. I'm also going to make half into white chocolate and berry scones, because they're my favourite and they're good. They taste really nice, especially with the white chocolate. Okay, so rubbing it in. Be very careful because you will make a mess doing this. Students love to do this, make a mess everywhere on the bench. So this does take a little bit of time. I've also measured out my milk, which is 3/4 of a cup of milk for this recipe. And scones don't like to be mixed much at all. So when you do add the wet ingredients to bind it together, don't try and mix it too much or try and knead it on the bench. So if you knead it, it's going to bash out all that lovely light fluffy air, which is what we want in our scones, to be nice and light and airy. The softer, the lighter, the better. Okay, I've made such a mess in the kitchen. I'll be in trouble. Okay, so just tap the side of the bowl carefully and shake that flour. If there's any lumps of butter in there, they'll come to the top because they're the biggest portions of the butter, which hasn't been combined in there. And it should represent breadcrumbs or biscuit crumbs, which that does. So now we'll add the milk. I'll just wash my hands. So oven onto 180 degrees, which I've already got my oven preheated from the previous recipe. Now adding the milk straight in the center. So it's cooking's all about, bit of fun, make a little bit of mess. Can always add a little bit more to it as you go. Sometimes if you go too far though, you can't go back. So that is now combining to a dough, and I do need a splash more milk. So that was because I didn't measure out my flour correctly. So it pays to measure out correctly all ingredients. In that case, I was rushing. Okay, you don't want it too sticky, but not too dry. And it's still, I reckon I've used about another extra tablespoon of milk now. Okay, that looks good. It's come together as dough. I don't want to mix it too much. So this is really simple, really easy. Just going to turn that out onto my bench. That little bit extra flour, which I had kept in reserve, on the bench. And turn it out. And basically you don't want to knead this together. Yes, it is crumbling, that's fine. But we want to make sure that we're just pushing it together, just lightly. That's all you want to do. Just push gently together, flattening it out, squishing it together. And I do like to have nice big thick scones, so I'm not going to push that down too much there. That's about it. Now you can use cutters, so if you're doing a standard scone, you just cut your scone out, have it ready to go on your tray. So I've just got a tray prepared with a bit of paper on there, and straight into the tray, pushing them close together. So when I put them all on there, they're going to be all nice and tight together, because scones like to help each other rise, so they'll push against each other, and the steam and the heat will just push each other up. So again, I'm going to do a couple more plain ones for the Devonshire tea. Oh, it's a bit sticky, don't I? Okay, and here. And if you tap this into some flour, as you're cutting them, they'll come out a lot easier. There we go. See, there you go. Okay, so this lot now, what I'm going to do is just mix in a bit of, oh, actually no, I'll do that afterwards. So here is my scones together. I'm just going to use a little bit of milk and my pastry brush, and I'm just going to brush the tops just a little bit, put them in the oven to bake only about 10 to 15 minutes. If you pull them apart when they come out to look in the middle, they won't be doughy or soft, really soft. They should be firm to touch, but also they should have risen as well, because we're using self-raising flour, of course. So they will rise up a lot more than what they are there now, and they will still be nice and soft on the inside, but they will be cooked like a scone's normally cooked. So I'm going to pop these in the oven after I put the milk on, cook them for 15-20 minutes, and then I'll get them out and I'll show you the end result.